Good morning, Hampton Roads. How's everybody doing today? And welcome to Virginia's only local real estate investing podcast, where we get to talk about local investors, local deals, and all things local. I'm your host, the founder of the Master Investor Academy, and author of my best-selling book, Work Just Gets in the Way of Making Money, Scott Jelinek. How's everybody doing today? If you have any questions, concerns, comments, properties you'd like to sell, things you'd like to discuss, you can go ahead and text me directly at 757-699-4227. That's 757-699-4227. I look forward to hearing from you. And if you have some questions, I'll answer them right here on the show. So a couple of things I wanted to go over today. And you know, I haven't been putting out as steady as I was, and it's mostly because it's summer and I'm jet skiing and I'm boating and I'm having a great time. Well, I wanted to tell you about this past week, and that's why I titled this show, Your Network is Your Net Worth. And I wanted to explain to you what I mean by that, tell you about some things I've been doing this week, and then I want to tell you about some deals that we have going on right now, and how crazy it is, how mostly everything revolves around your network. And that is why it is of such value to you to spend time and energy and actually build relationships and not just do one-off transactions. So a couple things. So last Friday, I went out on Alex Youngblood's boat. We went out for a day just talking real estate, had a great time. For those of you who don't know Alex Youngblood, he's a local investor here in Hampton Roads, but he also owns the biggest real estate group. I think it's the real estate group or wholesaling group on Facebook, like 120,000 people on it. It's an incredible group. And so it was really good. Got a lot of insight to talk to each other about different ways we're doing, different strategies we're doing with real estate investing. So that was it was, really good time. I always enjoy talking with people, but we always pick up stuff. I like to give, my insight and my knowledge. Other people gain value from that. And at the same time, I gain knowledge from other people's different ways they're trying things and different ways they're doing things. And then I had lunch over at Grain over at the Hilton down in downtown Norfolk. And that was actually a fantastic lunch. So then, what was it, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, I went to lunch with Jim Leland. You guys may know him. He's a real estate investor, been in this area for a long time. I actually originally met Jim when I had an office. I had a barter company back then, and I had an office on Rosemont Road. So this was probably 2001, 2002. And we actually met in the hallway. His office was there, my office was there, and started talking about real estate. He wasn't into real estate then. He asked a lot of questions. We went over it a bunch of times and kind of got him transitioned into doing it on the side from his real business. And now we're talking 20 years later, and he's as full-fledged investor as anyone can be. Has tons of rentals. He does rehabs. He does hard money lending, fully engaged in the real estate investing community, which is just fantastic to see how such little tiny things, and this is where we were going with the title of this show, such little things could make such a difference and such an impact in your life. Little conversation you had, a person you met, you never know what direction that was going to move you into or move someone else into. And so it's just great when you think about it. Had we not stopped and talked in the hallway, who knows what would have happened. I got a lot of value out of my relationship with Jim, and he's got a lot of value out of our relationship as well. And so it's crazy when you think about how these little things, little conversations that could have been in a hallway, how it evolved 20 years later to a whole different life that we might not have known otherwise. So to take you on to the network, keep going. Just yesterday I had, I want to call it lunch, but it was 4:00. Really, it was margaritas, but with Shawn Campbell. He owns Campbell Real Estate, and he's also an investor. He owns rentals, and he does a lot of different things. And Shawn's another one. Shawn actually used to work with me back in 2008, I think, until 2013. Shawn, and if you listen, you can correct me. And one of the interesting things he was talking about, we went to Quirk's yesterday on Great Neck Road, and one of the things he was talking about is he's getting ready to start a podcast now of his own. And I thought it was great because he has real estate, he has multiple real estate related businesses, and so he can promote his real estate business and bring on guests. And I thought it was a fantastic idea. And I haven't seen him. I talk to him every now and then, but I haven't seen him in a while. And so it's really, really great to connect with people that were both in the same industry. We've done so many things together, but to see what different avenues you're going down now and what different avenues I'm going down, and then how we can work together. And we actually came up with several ideas of new things we're going to do just from randomly having, I want to call it lunch, but having drinks, new plan moving forward of a different way we may do lending or a different way we might collaborate on things. So, each one of these little things, I'm talking about having lunch, but each one of these adds value. It adds a new connection and new ideas. Sometimes I'm giving ideas, sometimes I'm getting ideas, and sometimes it's both. Sometimes I'm just motivate and inspire people, but you're going to be shocked to know that when I motivate and inspire people, it motivates and inspires me. That is what energizes me when I leave somebody else and they're like, yeah, I'm excited, I'm going to go do this. That's what motivates me as well. So tomorrow I have lunch with a new lender who's actually a judge. And this came from an existing lender of mine. He called me last week and he says, I was having lunch with a friend of mine who's a judge in this city, and I was telling him about what we're doing, right? And so all of a sudden I'm like, uh-oh, am I in trouble? Am I doing something wrong? And he's like, and so I explained the whole way everything works to him. And again, I'm like, uh-oh. And he's like, but he was asking if it's not stepping on any toes. And again, I'm waiting for the hammer to fall. He's like, he would like to be a lender for you as well. And I was like, oh yeah, absolutely. We're always looking for new lenders. And so we set up time. We're going to meet tomorrow. PF Chang's. I'm looking forward to it. We're always raising new money, and primarily I raise for my coaching students. But I'm always raising money because you could never have enough, especially with the slow flip model. We go through a lot of money. Oh, I missed one telling you about lunch last week. I had lunch with one of my existing lenders. This is, I should make more notes. So I had lunch with one of my existing lenders last week at Cooper's Hawk, and she's been a lender now for 4 years, I think. And she was recently telling me that she's got a new money. I don't know if it's a line of credit or money, but she wants to put it out. And so we worked a new program now for helping some of my coaching students to do $50,000 slow flips instead of the 30,000. And so this is something you have to remember with lenders. It's a great benefit to her because she gets to borrow. She's borrowing money at 2%, loaning it out at 12. It's a great benefit to my coaching students because now they can do deals because the rents have gone up so much. They can do deals at 50 and still pay them off in 5 years and be able to cash flow crazy and have these new increasing value properties and increasing value rents to pay for the whole thing. They get the deal for free. She gets a return on her money. Everybody wins in the situation. And so, again, I keep talking about lunch, but I'm like, I was actually telling my wife yesterday, which is what sparked me thinking this, about how many deals we've orchestrated just in the past week, just through lunches, meeting people for lunch. So tomorrow I'm having lunch, going over the lending program with this new lender of mine who's a referral from another lender. And so it's crazy. So where I was going with this, and then I want to talk to you about some deals we have going. Where I was going with this is don't underestimate the value of each relationship. When you meet people, you have to add value as well. Don't think you're just going to take because they're not going to have it. But it's got to be value that you bring and you add, and then you'll also get value. But the relationships are important to keep alive, even if it means you have one breakfast or one lunch per month or per 6 months or whatever it may be. I had another one last week. I'm trying to remember how many with Sal, and we met right up the road here at Bay Local. Had a great breakfast, and it's great to catch up. We only meet probably once a month, once every 2 months, but we catch up, go over what we're doing different. He's been investing for a long time as well. And so you really have to take your relationship serious, because in the end, and by the end, I don't mean in your death. I mean, in the end of as you progress through your career, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years in, you're going to have a huge network of relationships that you've nurtured over these years. And you're going to see your business is going to stem from these relationships, not from your independent marketing. You're not going to be out putting on ads on Facebook, trying to find lenders or whatever your deal may be. It's going to all stem off of these relationships. So enough about that. I want to tell you about some deals going right now. So the market's insane and we're still crushing it. I look for this entire year, we are averaging about $60,000 to $80,000 a month in assignment fees, which is crazy because I do not do a lot of marketing. And for those of you who know me, I don't do a lot of deals. I might do 2, 3, 4 deals a month. I'm not doing a lot of deals, but they're just good deals. And I have a couple closing right now. One of them I wanted to tell you because it's a really enjoyable story to me. I got one deal off of Facebook. Actually, I was drinking my coffee in the morning and I'm scrolling through and I see this house that I know that neighborhood inside and out. I know the values inside and out. And I saw what they were asking. I immediately texted them. I said, is it still available? They said, yes. Based on the video alone, I said, I'll take it. They sent me over the contract. Later that day, I sold it for $20,000 more than what I bought it for. $20,000 while drinking my coffee. Unbelievable deal. I was fantastic. And then I have another one going right now that I'm making 35 grand on. This is one that came from somebody who attended my live event years ago, and she was in the middle of a deal that didn't pan out, and she had it still on hard money and wanted to just sell it outright. So I contracted that, and now I've resold. I actually closed on that one, so I wholetailed it. I closed on it, cleaned it up, and that's pending contract now to sell. But enough about me. I wanted to tell you about some of my people. Well, I'm going to tell you about one. So one of them, and this is, it relates to the networking we were talking about. He got a deal this week that he's making a $65,000 assignment fee on it. 65,000. That's a nice lick. And so, what's the first question I always ask my guys when they get a deal? Where did the lead come from? And I loved his answer. It was a referral. It was a referral from somebody he's known for years, and they know what he does, which is why I'm constantly stressing to you, everybody has to know that you're a real estate investor and that you buy houses, because you never know where your next big deal is coming from. You never know. Somebody's having a conversation right now and they're like, oh, I don't know. How do you sell a house? Or they can be like, you know what? I got a guy who buys houses and he does them as is. You don't have to worry about it, and he pays cash, and they'll refer you right on over. And he's giving her $1,000 referral fee, which is fantastic for her, fantastic for him. Everybody wins. One last thing I wanted to tell you about is I have another guy who is stepping outside of our area for slow flips. And I try and stay right here in Hampton Roads. And we live in such a good market that I really try not to creep outside of it. But he just bought one in another city in Hampton Roads that I'd never even heard of, that was called Danville, Virginia. I didn't even look up on a map. I don't know where it is. Nevertheless, he bought it for $16,000. He closed on it yesterday. He listed it online as a slow flip. He told me this morning, he listed it, I think, for $69,000. He told me this morning he's already got somebody who offered him $10,000 down and $700 a month for 30 years. So, it's the numbers are just staggering. I want you to do that math in your head. He paid 16 for it. He's getting 10,000 as a down payment and then $700 a month as the mortgage payment for 30 years. So I don't want you, the reason I'm telling you this is I don't want you thinking, if you're not one of my local people, that, oh, well, that's great in your area, but it won't work in mine. He lives here and he's doing it in a faraway area, and it's still working out, priceless. I have another guy who's buying in St. Louis now. I'm trying to keep this podcast strictly for Hampton Roads, so we're not going to talk about that, but he's doing the same thing, buying them cheap there, selling them with owner financing. If you guys know my slow flip method, one of the things I'm always saying is we don't sell the house, we sell the financing. The house comes with it. And so it's very exciting. It's very exciting times, very exciting to see what people are doing, strategies they're changing, evolving. And as we move forward through these times, as the market's going to change, it's great to be involved with everyone else, to see what they're doing different, what you're doing different, and what you can collaborate on. So keep that in mind as you meet new people. Don't just say, hey, it was nice to meet you. Keep the relationship alive. You have to nurture relationships. Plan a time. If you go out to breakfast, lunch, don't be the guy who says, oh, I want to pick your brain. Nobody wants their brain picked. If you want to collaborate, you want to shoot ideas off each other, any of that's great. But you don't just want to take picking brain. It means you're just taking. You want to also give. It's got to be a win-win relationship. They have to get value out of it. You have to get value out of it. It's all I got for you guys today. Have an absolutely fantastic day. Do something today that your future self is going to thank you for. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon. I will talk to you later. If you have not done so already, click the like button so that I know you're out there watching. Leave me a review if you haven't done it, and subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys soon.